What if I told you there's a single vitamin, one that's probably sitting a few steps from where you're watching this, that could quietly tip the scales toward a stroke overnight, especially once you pass 60? Picture yourself pouring your morning pills, feeling proud you're doing the healthy thing, when in reality one of those glossy capsules might be nudging tiny blood vessels in your brain toward danger. I've spent years in the neuro ward, standing beside families who never saw it coming. They'd say, "Doc, we just wanted mom to stay strong." And my heart would break when I had to explain that the supplement they trusted was part of the problem. I don't want that scene to replay in your life. Stay with me, because over the next few minutes you and I will uncover which popular vitamin could backfire, the science no one bothered to translate into plain English, and the safer habits that protect your brain without putting your heart at risk. By the time we're done, you'll have the clarity to choose what truly serves you or someone you love every single day. If you believe your health should always come first, type health first in the comments right now. It's a simple pledge to yourself and a signal that you're part of our community. And hit subscribe to join Flourish After 60, where every week we turn confusing medical chatter into clear, empowering guidance for living wiser, stronger, and longer. Key number 1, vitamin E, the healthy antioxidant that isn't always safe. Picture a woman named Marilyn. She's 67, lively, loves gardening, and hates wrinkles. Every morning she pops a bright golden gel of high-dose vitamin E, convinced it's her secret weapon against aging. One afternoon she slips on a wet patio stone, bumps her hip, and thinks, "No big deal, just a bruise." Hours later she's in the emergency room. That harmless bruise has spread like an ink blot, and doctors discover internal bleeding they can't quiet down. Why? Her blood is too thin, and that anti-aging vitamin is the culprit. Here's what most brochures never explain. Vitamin E is fat-soluble. Your body stores the excess instead of flushing it out. In small, natural amounts, it's a helpful antioxidant. But crank the dose up, especially past 200 IU, and it turns into a stealth blood thinner. If you're already on pressure pills, aspirin, or a heart prescription, the cocktail can tip you toward a hemorrhagic stroke faster than you'd ever guess. You might be thinking, but it's just a vitamin, how bad could it be? That's the biggest trap. Supplements feel friendly, safe, even cozy. Yet the line between helpful and harmful is razor thin. And marketing rarely mentions that. More is not better. Sometimes more is exactly what breaks the camel's back. So what do? First, toss the megadose bottles promising youth in a capsule. Scan the label, stick to 15 milligrams or less per day if your doctor agrees you need any supplement at all. Better yet, let your plate do the heavy lifting. A handful of almonds, a spoonful of sunflower seeds on your salad, a side of sautéed spinach. Whole foods give you vitamin E wrapped in fiber, minerals, and other nutrients that keep everything in balance. But vitamin E isn't the sole troublemaker. There's another supplement many folks swallow for a healthy heart, yet it can quietly crank up blood pressure like a hidden valve. Let's open that cabinet next. Key number 2, vitamin B6, good for nerves, bad in excess. Think about Tom for a moment. He's 72, loves woodworking, and has dealt with pins and needles in his fingers for years. One day a neighbor says, "Hey, try vitamin B6, great for nerve pain." So Tom grabs a jumbo bottle from the discount shelf, 100 milligram tablets, bright orange label promising nerve support. He figures, more is better, right? Fast forward 6 months. Tom starts tripping on the shop floor, missing steps, dropping his favorite chisels. His feet feel like they're wrapped in bubble wrap. No real pain, just fuzzy numbness that creeps higher every week. He blames old age, maybe bad shoes, but what's really happening? His nerves are screaming for help, overwhelmed by a vitamin that was supposed to rescue them. Here's the science translated into plain talk. Vitamin B6 helps your body make neurotransmitters, the tiny messengers that tell muscles and nerves what to do. In normal doses, fantastic. But shove the dose past 100 milligrams a day, and those same nerve fibers start to fray. It's like over-fertilizing a plant. You don't get more blossoms, you burn the roots. Too much. B6 can also spike homocysteine, a tricky little amino acid that roughs up your blood vessels and raises stroke risk. Now the big misconception, most B-complex pills cram B6, B12, and folic acid into one mega tablet. That trio only works when the levels are in balance. Think of it as a choir that needs each singer on pitch. If B6 drowns out the others, the harmony turns into noise, and your nervous system pays the price. So what do? First, flip that bottle over. If each tablet is over 50 milligrams, slice the dose or pitch it. Aim for total daily intake under 100 milligrams unless your doctor specifically prescribes more, and that's rare. Second, schedule a quick blood test once a year. It takes minutes and can save months of stumbling frustration. And please, let food shoulder the load. Chickpeas in your salad, a banana in your smoothie, a piece of salmon for dinner. Plenty of B6, naturally portion controlled. Ready to peek at the next surprise guest in your pantry. It's a vitamin pumped into breakfast cereals and sandwich bread, marketed as brain food, yet it may be quietly clouding memory and tangling up nerves. Let's lift that lid together. Key number 3, folic acid. A double-edged sword. Think about Tom for a moment. He's 72, loves woodworking, and has dealt with pins and needles in his fingers for years. One day a neighbor says, "Hey, try vitamin B6, great for nerve pain." So Tom grabs a jumbo bottle from the discount shelf, 100 milligram tablets, bright orange label promising nerve support. He figures, more is better, right? Fast forward 6 months. Tom starts tripping on the shop floor, missing steps, dropping his favorite chisels. His feet feel like they're wrapped in bubble wrap. No real pain, just fuzzy numbness that creeps higher every week. He blames old age, maybe bad shoes. But what's really happening? His nerves are screaming for help, overwhelmed by a vitamin that was supposed to rescue them. Here's the science translated into plain talk. Vitamin B6 helps your body make neurotransmitters, the tiny messengers that tell muscles and nerves what to do. In normal doses, fantastic. But shove the dose past 100 milligrams a day, and those same nerve fibers start to fray. It's like over-fertilizing a plant. You don't get more blossoms, you burn the roots. Too much. B6 can also spike homocysteine, a tricky little amino acid that roughs up your blood vessels and raises stroke risk. Now, the big misconception: most B-complex pills cram B6, B12, and folic acid into one mega tablet. That trio only works when the levels are in balance. Think of it as a choir that needs each singer on pitch. If B6 drowns out the others, the harmony turns into noise, and your nervous system pays the price. So what do? First, flip that bottle over. If each tablet is over 50 milligrams, slice the dose or pitch it. Aim for total daily intake under 100 milligrams, unless your doctor specifically prescribes more, and that's rare. Second, schedule a quick blood test once a year. It takes minutes and can save months of stumbling frustration. And please, let food shoulder the load. Chickpeas in your salad, a banana in your smoothie, a piece of salmon for dinner. Plenty of B6, naturally portion controlled. Ready to peek at the next surprise guest in your pantry? It's a vitamin pumped into breakfast cereals and sandwich bread, marketed as brain food, yet it may be quietly clouding memory and tangling up nerves. Let's lift that lid together. Key number 4, vitamin D. The overlooked risk when combined with calcium. Open your kitchen cupboard and pull down that bright-colored cereal box, the one splashed with health claims and smiling cartoon grains. See the words "fortified with folic acid" in bold letters? That's where Eleanor, 69, thought she was winning the nutrition game. She filled her bowl every morning, layered it with fortified bread at lunch, and proudly told friends, "I'm getting my vitamins without pills." Fast forward to her routine checkup. The doctor frowns at the lab report. Her blood is swimming with unmetabolized folic acid, extra synthetic folate her body can't process. Meanwhile, her B12 levels have slipped into the danger zone. Eleanor feels foggy-headed, loses track of appointments, and her legs tingle like static. She asks, "How can I be deficient? I'm eating healthy." Here's the plain English breakdown. Folic acid and natural folate sound identical, but they're cousins, not twins. Folate in leafy greens is active right out of the garden. Your cells plug it in like a ready battery. Synthetic folic acid, on the other hand, needs an enzyme to flip the switch. Past a certain dose, especially the high amounts rammed into processed foods, your liver can't keep up. Leftover folic acid floats around unmetabolized. Why does that matter? Because too much fake folate can hide a creeping B12 deficiency, one of the most common and sneakiest issues in older adults. B12 keeps nerves insulated like electrical wires. Strip that insulation and signals misfire. Numb toes, memory slips, even mood changes that masquerade as depression. Add vascular strain from elevated homocysteine, And suddenly you're looking at a recipe for stroke risk and cognitive decline. The big misconception is that folic acid is always good. Marketing shouts the benefits for pregnant moms, and that's true in the right dose. But you're not the demographic those cereal commercials target. You're wiser, looking to safeguard your brain, not just tick off a nutrition box. So here's your honest, no-nonsense action plan. 1. Shift to natural folate. Load half your dinner plate with dark greens, spinach, arugula, romaine, whatever you enjoy. Toss in lentils or black-eyed peas. Slice an avocado on top. That bundle of nutrients arrives pre-balanced. 2. If your doctor says you need a supplement, choose methylfolate instead of folic acid. It's the ready-to-use form, so your body skips the conversion hassle. 3. Pair it with a B12 check. A quick blood draw once a year can catch imbalances long before symptoms whisper their warning. 4. Read labels like a detective. If folic acid shows up near the top of your cereal, bread, or snack ingredients, and you're already getting plenty from fresh foods, rotate those items out or enjoy them as an occasional treat, not a daily habit. You deserve nutrients that work for you, not against you. The goal is clarity, energy, and a brain that feels sharp when you wake up, not a fog you have to fight through every morning. Now here's the vitamin that truly stunned me, the one that made me double-check the research because I could hardly believe how something sold for strong bones might stiffen the very vessels feeding your heart. Let's shine a light on that next. Key number 5, niacin vitamin B3, heart helper or hidden threat. You know Carol, 74, bright smile, loves her morning walks and a good mystery novel. Her doctor warned her years ago about bone density, so she never misses her combo 1. Falzin Bic calcium and 2. Falzin IU vitamin D3 every single day. She keeps the bottles right beside the toaster. Can't let these hips crack, she jokes. Then one Sunday morning, Carol feels a sudden numbness sweep across her cheek and down her arm. It passes in minutes, but her daughter insists on the ER. Scans show a tiny stroke, thankfully mild. But another image surprises the team even more. Her carotid arteries sparkle like gravel in sunlight. Calcification, hardened calcium lining the vessel walls, narrowing the space her blood needs to flow. Carol is stunned. But I've done everything right. Plenty of calcium, plenty of D, and that right there is the knot we need to untangle. Let's break it down plain spoken, no jargon. Vitamin D is your body's doorman for calcium. Without enough D, calcium can't get through the intestinal gate and into your bloodstream. Pop a D supplement and calcium strolls right in. Good, right? Only if it knows where to park. Without the traffic cop, vitamin K2, calcium wanders. It should lodge in bones and teeth, but instead it may settle in soft tissues, especially blood vessel walls. Think of it like wet cement splashing onto the inside of your arteries, then drying rock hard. Most people hear sunshine vitamin and picture beach days and stronger bones. They never hear that pairing high-dose D3 with hefty calcium minus K2 can turn flexible arteries into rigid pipes, raising blood pressure and stroke risk. And here's a kicker, K2 isn't plentiful in most Western diets unless you're munching natto or aged cheeses every day. So what's a sensible plan? 1. Test, don't guess. Before you swallow another pill, ask your doctor for a quick blood test. 25-hydroxy vitamin D. That tells you if you even need supplementation. Optimal isn't as high as possible. It's in a Goldilocks zone, usually between 30 and 50 mg/ml for most folks. 2. If you're taking D3, invite K2 to the party. Look for MK7 on the label, around 90, 12 micrograms daily, unless your physician adjusts the dose. K2 acts like GPS, guiding calcium out of arteries and into bone. 3. Don't megadose calcium. Just because the bottle says for women over 50, count what you're already eating. Yogurt, leafy greens, fortified plant milks, then top up only what's missing. Many seniors hit the recommended 1,200 through food alone. 4. Spread doses with meals. Your body absorbs smaller amounts more efficiently, and you avoid a sudden surge that overwhelms those vitamin K2 traffic cops. Take a breath here. The goal isn't to fear your supplement shelf. It's to make each capsule work in harmony with the others, and with your actual delicious meals. Bones stay strong, arteries stay supple, and you stay in charge. Now, you might be wondering if a simple sunshine pill can backfire. What about those energy-boosting tablets everyone raves about, especially the one promising to fix cholesterol and fatigue in one go? That little powerhouse is coming up next, and misusing it can make your heartbeat stumble in ways no one warns you about. Let's unpack that together. Picture Jim, 68, retired mechanic, stubbornly independent. His last checkup showed borderline high cholesterol. He hated the idea of prescription statins, so he asked the pharmacist for something natural. She handed him a bottle of 1,000 milligram time-release niacin, vitamin B3, labeled heart-healthy support. Jim thought, perfect over the counter, can't hurt. Week 1, he felt a fiery wave crawl up his neck and cheeks after each dose. The label called it a harmless niacin flush, so he shrugged it off. By week 3, that flush came with dizzy spells. His smartwatch buzzed about irregular heartbeats. Jim chalked it up to getting older, never suspecting the very pill meant to help his heart was tripping its rhythm. Here's what's happening under the hood. Niacin does lower LDL cholesterol by nudging more fat out of your bloodstream. But crank the dose past 500 milligrams, and the liver shifts into overdrive trying to process it. That can spike liver enzymes, stir up inflammation, and ironically increase stroke risk in folks who already juggle high blood pressure or atrial fibrillation. Time release and so-called flush-free versions might feel gentler on your skin, yet they often hit the liver even harder because the dose lingers longer. Over-the-counter doesn't mean over-the-moon safe, it simply means you can buy it without a gatekeeper. So what's your smarter play? 1. Don't self-prescribe megadoses. If cholesterol worries you, start with a blood panel and a real conversation with your doctor. Ask whether lower-dose, immediate-release niacin or something else entirely makes sense for your body. 2. Reboot the plate. Swap processed meats for salmon or sardines twice a week. Sprinkle ground flaxseed on breakfast. Drizzle olive oil instead of butter. Those shifts alone can nudge LDL down without torching your liver. 3. Monitor, monitor, monitor. If your provider still recommends niacin, insist on liver function tests after 6 weeks and again at the 3-month mark. Pay attention to any new dizziness, flushing that feels extreme, or heart palpitations. Those are not badges of bravery, they're flashing warning lights. 4. Read labels like a hawk. Anything above 100 per pill deserves scrutiny. Marketing terms like flush-free sound soothing, but they don't erase the metabolic load. I know, 5 vitamins, 5 hidden landmines. It can feel like walking through a supplement aisle blindfolded, afraid to pick up the wrong bottle. So let's pause, gather our thoughts, and talk about the emotional weight of all this information. Because protecting your health shouldn't feel like carrying a boulder uphill. I get it. Right now, your mind might be buzzing. You buy these vitamins because the labels promise strength, energy, stronger bones, a healthier heart. You swallow them with trust, not fear. Hearing that the very capsules meant to help you could be quietly steering you toward a stroke. That can feel like a punch in the gut. You're doing your best, following advice, trying to stay ahead of age. It's overwhelming and a little heartbreaking. But pause with me here, just for a breath. Knowledge isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to steer you. You wouldn't drive a mountain road in the dark without headlights, right? These facts we've unpacked about vitamin E thinning blood, B6 numbing nerves, folic acid masking B12, the D and calcium duo hardening arteries, and high-dose niacin stressing your heart, they're your headlights. They turn that winding road from a blind gamble into a clear path. So let's harness this clarity. I'm inviting you today, not next week, to take 5 simple minutes. Open the drawer, the basket, or that top pantry shelf where your supplements live. Line those bottles up like little soldiers. Read every label out loud if you need to. Ask yourself, why am I taking this? What dose is it? Do I really need it? Snap a photo, bring it to your next doctor appointment, and start a real conversation. If something looks off, set it aside. If you're unsure, jot down a question. Those 5 minutes could spare you months or years of avoidable trouble. And remember, you're not the only one sorting through a pile of glossy pills. Thousands of us right here in the Flourish, After 60 community, are learning together, sharing wins, sharing scares, cheering each other toward healthier choices. You don't have to untangle the science alone. Lean on us, lean on your physician, lean on solid, balanced meals that do half the work for you. All right, big breath. Let's pull the camera back and recap the heart of today's journey, because the simplest summary can be the strongest lifesaver. Vitamin E in megadoses thins blood and can tip fragile vessels into bleeding. B6 above 100 milligrams can numb feet, fray nerves, and jack up homocysteine. Synthetic folic acid piled on top of fortified foods may hide dangerous B12 gaps. Vitamin D plus hefty calcium, but without K2, can pave your arteries with unwanted cement. High-dose niacin, time-release, flush-free or otherwise, can rattle your liver and your heartbeat. If any of these sound familiar, don't panic, just pivot. Refocus on food first. Use supplements with surgical intention, guided by a professional who knows your unique story. Now, I'd love to keep this a two-way street. Have you taken any of these vitamins? Did you notice tingling, flushing, dizzy spells, anything you now suspect might be linked? Pop down to the comments and share your experience. Your story might be the exact spark someone else needs. I read every note you leave. It's how we keep these episodes real, grounded, and useful. And hey, if today's talk switched on a light bulb for you, do me a gentle favor, tap the like button so YouTube knows this message matters, and hit subscribe. Here on Flourish After 60, we turn health confusion into clarity every single week. No fear-mongering, just facts, compassion, and a roadmap you can actually follow. Voice lifts with a smile you can practically hear. Thank you for hanging out with me today, friend. Stay curious, stay proactive, and remember, age is just the number of stories you've lived, not a limit on the stories still waiting. Keep your mind open, your heart strong, and your future bright. You're never too old to flourish. I'll see you in the next video.